Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about a ton of different injury updates on guys like Chase Young, Pedro Mathis, and Efe Obada, and they aren't great ones. Also an injury update on Terry and some other guys. If you guys are new, please subscribe. It takes a few seconds and it really will help me out a ton. So let's get into it. So Ron talked to the media today, and there was a decent amount of injury updates. They also put guys on IR, which is obviously that is the injury update in itself, and they've had like a couple practices the last couple days. So I'm going to talk about Chase Young in a second, but let's go ahead and go over the moves they made. So they signed Tyler Larson and defensive tackle Abdullah Anderson onto the roster. Tyler Larson, totally expected, and then Abdullah Anderson, not a super big surprise. There could have been some other guys, but he knows the system. They placed yesterday Pedro Mathis on IR. Did make a video about that, but we'll be talking about it here. And then Efe Obada on the IR list. The Pedro Mathis one, I think we could all tell it was trending that way. The Efe Obada one was kind of surprising to me. And then they officially signed Jabril Cox to the practice squad. Hopefully they get him on the active roster, because that would be good. I think he needs to be on the active roster before another team poaches him from us, because we can protect him I think a few weeks, but after that a team can just claim him off our practice squad if they really want to. So those are the moves. Let's get back to the Chase Young one, because I know that's what you guys want to hear. So this is what Ben Standig reported. He says Chase Young's progressing from the stinger, quote-unquote stinger injury suffered in the preseason opener. However, he's still not cleared for contact and is expected to meet with another doctor this week and is uncertain for week 1. So not great news at all. And he put stingers in quotation marks, and there was a doctor who replied later on saying that a stinger doesn't last for more than 24 hours. After that it's something else. So maybe there's nerve. I just don't want to speculate too much, but it's not trending in the right direction. But they haven't put him on IR yet, which is at least a little bit encouraging. But Grant Paulson says many in the building don't think he will be on the field against the Cardinals. So just not encouraging news. It's really frustrating, because I just wanted a full season of Chase Young this year, see what he can do, and now it's going to be okay. Maybe he misses the first game or two, and then after that he's still coming back from the injury and he's a little bit slow, and we don't really get to see the quote-unquote real Chase Young until week 5, week 6. But yeah, man, I understand why they didn't. I always understood it, but this is another reason why they didn't pick up the 5th-year option, because of stuff like this. And I'm not trying to hate on the guy, but after it's been like 3 weeks since the injury, so it's starting to get it started to get a little concerning a while ago, and now that Rivera talked about it, and there's been sources saying he might not be ready, and they don't think he's going to be ready by week 1. It's a little bit concerning, and he's a guy I definitely wanted to see week 1 against the Cardinals. Like Terry, we know what he's going to do when he comes back. Chase Young, we don't, and that would be a good opportunity for him there against some not great offensive linemen, some young guys as well. So that's unfortunate. And also you got Pedro Mathis out, so the D-line is very thin, and Efe Obada. So now Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen are going to have to play a ton, and then John Ridgeway will be playing as well. And then you got on the defensive end side of defensive end side, you got Montez, and then I guess James Smith-Williams, Casey Toohill, and then Andre Jones and KJ Henry. But James Smith-Williams might have to play in the inside, a little bit at times, because Efe Obada was a guy who could play inside as well. So now it's just really frustrating, all these injuries that are happening at the worst time. And now you have, I think, short-term IR. You're out for 4 weeks. So you're without Efe Obada. You're probably your best backup edge rusher. He's out for 4 weeks. And then your second-round pick from 2 years ago in Pedro Mathis is out. So that whole situation is frustrating. Like, I always never like the pick, and I said it. Even if he's a good player, I still think it could be a bad pick because of the other needs, and we just didn't need a backup defensive tackle. And even if he plays a lot, like, he's still the 3rd D tackle, and there were other guys we could have gone after or drafted guys later, or kept a guy like Tim Settle and then drafted a guy like John Ridgeway in the 5th or 6th round, or claim someone like they did. They claimed John Ridgeway, and he ended up being really good, or he's been really solid for us. So that just pick always baffled me and still baffles me to this day. They could have used it on an offensive lineman or just another position besides D tackle. And again, not trying to hate on Pedro Mathis because I still think he can be a good player, but the injuries are starting to pile up. He played one possession last year, tore his meniscus. He played one possession in the preseason this year and has a calf injury. So they haven't talked about that injury, and how bad it is. So hopefully he is back after 4 weeks, but it could be longer. So yeah, it is what it is with that one. But it's a blow because that's another thing I didn't even think about. Jonathan Allen is dealing with that plantar, whatever it's called, injury where it's really lingering. So he's going to need rest. But now how much rest is he going to be able to, have because his backup, Pedro Mathis, the guy who's supposed to play a ton, is not going to be there. And then Efe Obada as well, who, can play inside if needed, he's not going to play. So it's not a great start to the season in terms of injuries for the Commanders, with Terry being questionable, Kendall Fuller, I think he's going to be fine, Logan Thomas, like all these guys. It's just, it's not a great start, but at least your start is against the Cardinals. I talked about this roster update right here. And then Efe Obada is dealing with a patellar injury. It's one of those where he's going to have to get it to calm down. So I have no idea how that's going to work. Same thing with the Pedro Mathis injury. Hopefully both of those guys are back by week 5. But if at least one of those guys can be back by week 5, it would be huge because having both out is really bad, really unfortunate. And having all 3 of them out, if Chase Young's out for week 1, is really bad. Just because, again, it's just 3 of your top 7 linemen are out, or 7. Let's say 3 of your top 8 linemen are out. That's not a good scenario to have. And then your number 2 overall pick being out just in a contract year, like he's going to be motivated to play. So I think he's going to do whatever he can to play because if he's not playing, it's not going to look good for him in a contract year for sure. Let's see if I have any other tweets. And then Logan Thomas, Chase Young, Kendall Fuller out here stretching. Terry McLaurin's not there. Was in a boot until Tuesday. Need to keep his feet off as much as possible. And Dax Milne not out there. So my level of concerns with injuries. I think Kendall Fuller is going to be fine. Logan Thomas, I thought he was going to be fine. He said he was going to be fine. But then, these are Twitter doctors. He's a doctor in real life. But he doesn't have all the information, available to him. But he says Logan Thomas and Terry, he doesn't think either is going to play in week 1. I think Terry won't play because it's like that lingering injury. And if he gives another week, I think it would be huge. Logan Thomas, I think he'll play, but it's like a 60%. And then Kendall Fuller, I feel pretty confident that he'll play. And then obviously Efe Obada and Pedro Mathis are going to both be out for this, for the first 4 games. So that's definitely a big blow. And then Chase Young, maybe he'll be out for week 1 and then back after that. But we haven't had no clarity and no real information besides it's a stinger on the injury and that he can't have contact. And the no contact for like 3 weeks, that's like, it's starting to get a little worrisome. Whether it's, someone's like concussion, I doubt it unless it's a major one. Could be some nerve damage. I think Rio said that. I don't want to speculate too much, but just giving you guys ideas out there. And I'm not trying to overreact at all. I talked about some of these injuries a few weeks ago and, about how, okay, we don't have to worry now, but if this is still an issue in a week or 2, it could be bad. And everyone's like, oh, no, it's fine. And then, well, some of these guys got put on IR, but injuries happen for everyone. It's not an excuse. It cannot be an excuse for, this season. We got to start out fast, so got to beat the Cardinals. But then after that, like the Broncos, they're not an amazing team, but they're still a okay team, I would say. They've got Russell Wilson. We'll see how it goes this year, but they've got a really good defense, and they've got some good players on offense as well. And Javonte Williams, Jerry Jeudy, we'll see if he plays. You cannot start out slow. You have to start out 2-0, in my opinion. And if you lose to the Cardinals, it's just the morale is not going to be high. But not a very optimistic video. But these injuries are I think a lot of these guys will be ready by week 2. I think almost all of them will. Logan Thomas, Kendall Fuller, I think they'll be back by week 2. I think with Chase Young as well, but we just don't know what the injury is for real. And then Terry, I think he'll be back week 2, week 3, maybe even week 1. He is a fighter. Like, he fights through these injuries. He played with 2 high ankle sprains 2 years ago. So if he can play, he's going to play. I really think so. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.